what was Nathaniel Hackett thinking? Like, that's for him to not go for it on 4th and 5 is ridiculous. I'm sure everyone has already, voiced their opinions, watched the videos about people talking about it. But I just want to say, like, it's crazy. It's still crazy. Today it's Wednesday. We've had a couple of days to digest that decision. For him to not go for it on 4th and 5 and kick a 63, 64-yard field goal is crazy to me. Like, I was watching the game live, watching the end of it, and I'm like, okay, there's no way that honestly, it wasn't even a consideration in my head. I was like, what? Like, obviously they're gonna call timeout, and then when they didn't, Peyton Manning was talking at the same time, saying, "Oh, they might try to draw him offside." It's like, okay, that makes sense. And then they just ran it all the way down. And then even when they called the timeout with 1 second left, the regular ESPN commentators, they were like, "Oh, they ran all that time. Like, there's only 22 seconds left. How are they like? They're playing it very risky. Like, no one switched to like, oh, they're gonna go for a field goal. Like, no one. Like, even on Twitter, I follow a lot of people that follow sports that tweet about the game. I tweet about the game too sometimes, and no one was like, oh, they're gonna go for a field goal. Everybody was just like, damn, that's bad. That's bad clock management. Like, what are they doing? Like, they just kind of made it harder for once. If they do convert this 4th and 5, they just made it really, really hard. And now the field goal team comes out and is like, what in the world? They're going for a 64-yarder to win the game. It's in outdoors conditions, away, not even at home, away. Like, it's crazy. Everyone and their mamas thought they were going to go for it. And Russell Wilson, $245 million man, he's known for being clutch. I don't know if Nathaniel Hackett has watched any of Russell Wilson's highlights. Like, he just makes stuff happen. Like, I'm thinking like Packers, against the Packers multiple times. Like, when we had the replacement revs, when they beat them in the playoffs after he threw like 4 interceptions in the game and they still won in overtime because the tight end couldn't catch the offside kick. Like, Russell Wilson just has like a little magic pixie dust throughout his career where he just pulls games out of nowhere against the Vikings where the kicker missed a field goal. Like, he's just known for having a lot of luck, and maybe it's because he's religious, or maybe it's just because when you work hard, luck comes your way. But he's just, throughout his career, he's had a lot of lucky breaks. A lot of it is himself. A lot of it is just, that's how the cookie crumbles, and he gets lucky sometimes. But it's Russell Wilson. Regardless if he gets lucky or not, he's like really, really good, and you're paying him a lot of money, and that's why you traded for him. So that, you haven't had a quarterback that you trust in these situations since probably Peyton Manning. So for him to not give Russell Wilson the ball, 4th and 5, 3 timeouts left, ridiculous. And then the worst part is you wasted timeout, so now you can't try to force a punt the other way. I mean, you can't try to stop them on 3 downs if you do miss a field goal because you only have 2 timeouts and it's over. Oh, man, it doesn't make sense. And then later, afterwards, on Tuesday, Nathaniel Hackett says that looking back at it, he probably should have gone for it. Like, no shit. Everyone could have told you that. Like, no one was thinking. And then the excuse that, they told him that they're right at the edge of the range for the kicker. Like, you never want to get to the max range. It's always like a bluff. It's like, yeah, he said he could hit from 55 or 56, 58. Like, and their career high is like 52. Like, bro, what are you talking about? He had never made a kick longer than like 61. I think they showed a stat that like 62-yard field goals and further, he's like 0 for 6. And so it doesn't mean anything when they tell you like, yeah, I could kick from 64 like before the game starts. That doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just, they're giving you a number to work with. But if their career high is like 61 and they're 0 for 6 on 62 plus yards field goals, like, bro, it doesn't matter if he tells you he could hit from 64. That's just the little number he gives you so like you feel good. And it's like, as a head coach, you should know this. He is the first time head coach, but is Nathaniel Hackett in the hot seat after 1 week? That's crazy. It's crazy to think about it, but like, this decision is really like terrible. It's that bad of a decision by Nathaniel Hackett. And in this division, the AFC West, which everyone knew is the hardest division coming into the season, with the Chargers, with the Chiefs, with the Raiders, you're going to have 6 battles guaranteed in the division, just within the division. So for him to blow a game against the Geno Smith-led Seahawks, that's crazy. That's insane. Is he on the hot seat? He might be. I think you got to give it a little bit of time, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for Nathaniel Hackett to put this past him, especially as a first-time head coach. But we'll see how he does. What did you guys think? I thought it was ridiculous. It never occurred to me that he was going to kick the field goal. I just thought he had bad clock management. But what ended up happening was much worse. Like, it was bad clock management and just bad overall, like, understanding of the game, of the situation, of your personnel, of your quarterback. It was just bad all around. And man, the Broncos really lost to the Seahawks. In Russell Wilson's return to Seattle, where he got booed, they got the last laugh too. Like, that's incredible. We'll see how the Broncos bounce back. We'll see how Nathaniel Hackett bounces back. We'll see how Russell Wilson bounces back. I kind of expected more from Russell Wilson. We'll see if he starts getting into that rhythm again, or if he looks like the player from last year after he hurt his hand and he wasn't really the same Russell Wilson. But overall, crazy stuff. Nathaniel Hackett has to get it together, or else, it might be a short stint with Denver. Like, there's other coordinators that went to Denver and it didn't work out. I'm looking at Josh McDaniels, but we'll see how it goes. Crazy stuff. I never thought they were going to kick a field goal, and they did, and I'm still amazed that they did that.